I want to talk a little bit about a particular strategy I use in working with people that falls under the umbrella of developmental coaching. And that particular strategy is called the four attitudes. Now, I'm only going to go briefly through it. When I work with clients, I go a lot more in depth. So let me give you kind of a quick overview. And it goes like this. When we have a problem, we choose which attitude we're going to use to resolve that particular challenge. And some of you say, well, I don't do nothing. You're using something when you don't do nothing. It's the four attitudes. And the attitudes are the resisting attitude, controlling attitude, acceptance attitude, and a flowing attitude. We use all four. Now, we don't use all four at the same time. We only use one at a time. We will somehow subconsciously or through conditioning and training respond to a problem through one of those attitudes. Let's take a look at the resisting attitudes. Now, we've all have been there. Resisting attitude is basically kind of a negative worldview, and this is where we're saying to ourselves, life is unfair. This is a hopeless situation. It's never going to get better. Why do I even try? And you know what some people do here? They will reinforce themselves by bringing in friends who believe the same way they believe, or try to coach the friends into agreeing with them. Don't you think that's a unfair situation, Betty? Oh, yes, I do. Tanisha, don't you think he did me wrong and this is hopeless? Yeah, this is a hopeless situation, she says. We'll do whatever we can to hold on to that particular way of perceiving things. The resisting attitude. We run into a lot of that. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to be resistant all your life and every problem. But what I find is that when people are resistant, they'll use it in a lot of situations. They will be there for a few minutes, a few hours, a few days, a few weeks. I've known people go through a lifetime of resisting. They can build up a case against life and just say there's no hope here. I guess you would find a lot of people who might be in drugs or on suicide or just physically abusive, kind of caught up into this. And you can move out of that situation. You don't have to stay stuck. Now, the other one is the controlling attitude. Controllers, and many of you know about controllers. I'm not telling you anything new here. They believe in owning the universe. If you walk across their universe, they control you. And they'll tell you, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you got no business doing this, you ought to do it my way, I want you to do it like this. And they got a lot of structure that limits you because they want control and so forth. Or you'll hear them maybe make a sentence like, I'm going to get your back, or you deserve that, what happened to you. So watch out for the controllers in lifetime. Let me move quickly to the acceptance attitude. Years ago, I ran across a young man who was born disabled. He was in a chair and so forth. And I remember we had a discussion, and I asked him, do you ever wonder what it would be like to run across a field, to walk down the street? And he said, Mr. Farmer, no, I don't ever think about that, because he said, I was born this way. And he said, but that hasn't handicapped me any. He said, my girlfriend is not in a wheelchair, and someday I plan on becoming the first NFL head football coach. He says, right now I'm enrolled in community college and things are going great. He says, I don't walk around handicapped inside like so many people are. I've learned to roll with the punches, not to get emotionally involved with different things. I can accept things for what they are. It is what it is. And what I send out to you is that that's a healthy way of moving forward. When you're stuck in the first attitude, the resisting attitude, and the controlling attitude, your world is very limited. You want to be in a you want to be in an accepting attitude where you can accept life for what it is and you can just move forward. The other attitude is the flowing attitude, and this is basically where, you've been here before. You know how things go. You know there's God up there. and you know he's going to help you. And so you have that the beliefs, increasing faith, and you can move forward. Now, I want to say quickly here, what happens if you find yourself in a chair and you're stuck? How do you get yourself up? Well, you use the same strategy that you've seen in sports. I watch football, I watch boxing, and you'll see a coach there saying, look, we're up against this challenge. We can do this. We got about 5 minutes left on the clock. We can win. We can move forward. Let's do it. Sometimes we have to do that to ourselves. We have to have that self-talk inside. We have to say to ourselves, it looks like the count is out. It's all over with, but I can turn this around. I can move forward no matter what kind of odds are against me. So what I'm saying and what I'm suggesting to you is you have to learn how to talk to yourself. So when you're in that resisting chair, you say, uh-oh, I'm in the wrong chair. Because I'm feeling bad, I'm feeling horrible inside, I'm sad, I'm depressed, I'm in the wrong chair. It's time for me to get up and move, not in the controlling chair, but I'm going to move to the acceptance chair. Now, when I say acceptance, I'm not talking about you just kind of cop out and just say, I'm just going to accept everything that's going on. There's some things you don't like, and there's some things that you can't control that you're going to have to accept. The sun's going to go down and it's going to become dark, and you have to accept that that's going to happen. And you have to accept the fact that the moon's going to stay where it's at and the sun's going to stay where it's at. There's no point in just sitting there worried about, I wonder if the moon's going to stay up there, if the sun's going to stay bright. There's certain things in this life you're going to have to accept. So long as you learn how to do that, you'll be on solid ground. So when you find yourself in a chair that you don't want to be, talk yourself out of that chair and move yourself around. Now, there's other things you can do, but for now, we're just going to deal with using self-talk to get yourself out of a resisting chair and a controlling chair and moving toward the acceptance chair and the flowing chair. When you're in the acceptance chair and flowing chair, we're talking about positive thinking, we're talking about growth, we're talking about development, we're talking about moving forward.